What's happening, YouTube? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. On today's episode, for those of you guys that love smash mouth football and great linebacker play, when I'm talking about great linebacker play, I'm talking about linebackers that can play all three downs, linebackers that can go sideline to sideline, but that can get depth and cover and be a absolute force in the running game. If that's the kind of linebacker you like, you have clicked on the right episode today. You will be blessed with today's guest. Three-star linebacker from St. Thomas Aquinas down in Florida, Phillip Goodrich Jr. is a monster in the middle. Like I said, he's got that versatility to give you a smash mouth guy that can come downhill and stuff the run, but he also is smooth and fast and quick in coverage and has that versatility to be a linebacker that does not have to come off the field for three downs. But you don't want to hear it from me. You want to hear it from the superstar himself. Off of a state championship season, three-star linebacker from St. Thomas Aquinas, Phillip Goodrich Jr. How's it going, buddy?
It's going great. How are you?
Not too bad. We're recovering from some cold down here. I know you guys had some cold down there in Florida. Y'all are not used to as well. What was that like for y'all, real quick? Because being from Texas, we got snow and we weren't really used to it. What was it like for you dealing with the cold these past couple of weeks?
I mean, for me, it wasn't really that bad. I just felt like a good day outside because I originally came from Chicago. So
okay. Well, this is You're fine. So how was it transitioning to Florida?
It was a long move. Took a long time, but was able to make it happen. Here we are.
Did you have to adjust to the humidity plan? Because even down in Texas, like sometimes I see kids, they got full sleeves on visors, and I'm like, look, it's 100 degrees out there. I don't know how they do this. Because when I play, we tried to wear as little as we could because it was 100 degrees. But for you, what was it different adjusting to the humidity down in Florida?
Yes, it was. From the bipolar weather that we used to get in Chicago coming down here, and the constant heat and humidity and stuff. But I was able to handle it pretty well. I mean, I'd be outside almost every day, just training and acclimating to the heat. So I was able to get pretty well with that.
You come from one of, if not the best programs in high school football, not just in recent years, but the tradition at St. Thomas Aquinas is a tradition of excellence. How much pride do you take in having that Aquinas football shirt on and being a member of this team that has such a great legacy in high school football?
I mean, it's something you got to be grateful for every day. Like every day, I wear a uniform. We wear uniforms for school. Every day you put that on, you got to go represent yourself, your family name, and your high school name with everything that you do, from school, life, just like regular life, to sports, whatever you want to do. So every time I'm putting on my stuff and just going out and doing whatever I can, I try to represent as best I can.
So for those in the chat that don't know, coming off of a state championship year where you guys had a fantastic season, recap that year for us, not just what the year was like for the team, but for you as well.
So for the year, I'd say people had a lot of doubt in us because the previous year before, we had a lot of guys go off to college and like, oh, they lost him, and him. They're nothing without these guys. So starting off the year, we had a lot of doubt going against us. And it was just a progression. Every game, every practice, we were able to come together as a team more and more. And as time went on, we were able to just start dominating teams.
What was that like to see everyone come together? Because I know y'all hear the same noise that, like you said, they're losing chance, they're losing. How's the offense going to be? But they're losing this guy on defense, losing two-star corners. How was that to see? Obviously, being a junior in the locker room, you're more of a leader now, so you get to see the young guys start to believe. You get to see the young guys fall in line and obviously take their direction from you. But what was it like for you to get to see the team gel and the team galvanize around each other, trying to basically shut out all the outside noise and just keep the main thing the main thing?
I mean, for me, I believe that was the more meaningful part of this team and something I was most proud of. Come on, guys, we got to get this too. Oh, everyone's bought in now. No one can stop us, really. So for me, experiencing that and witnessing our guys be able to come together like that just made me the most proud.
And then recruiting for you looks like it skyrocketed this past season, and it's a lot of fun to see your timeline, especially recently too. It's a lot of fun to see your timeline, not just you, but a lot of the other guys on the squad and your little brother, who I want to give a shout out to as well.
Yeah.
When the offers start coming in, what is that like for someone who I know personally, but for those in the chat, extremely hardworking young man, elite in the classroom as well. But when those offers start coming in, what is that like? Do you remember your very first one?
Yes, I believe. Well, I remember a little bit, but I remember my reaction to it. We were in school. I was just sitting in class doing whatever. We were working on something. And I get a message on my phone, and I click on it. I see it's my coach along with some other teammates of mine, and it says, "Hey, you have an offer from this school. Tag this coach." And I read it, and I was like, it took me a little bit to process. I'm just reading it, and I was just like, yeah, I was just like, oh, okay. And I just like put my phone down for a second, and I was like, wait, hold on, let me read this again.
You had to snap back. Hold on, wait. But that said offer. Oh, hold on.
Yeah. So I read it again, and I was like, oh, I just got my first offer. So I screenshot, I sent to my parents. We're all happy and stuff. It was a great day.
So then we go from that first one to a very impressive offer sheet. Now we're gonna talk about a few of these. If I talk about every one, I'm going to keep him here way too late. He'll miss dinner. I'll take up his whole night. But some of these are just so cool. And then some of the game day visits as well. I have to start with Michigan because when we talk about defense, you think of last year's Michigan team. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy and that offense was fantastic, but that defense was elite and electric. Not only having the interest from Michigan, I obviously want to ask about that, but you got to see this team in person and that atmosphere in person. Mm-hmm. What was that like from a recruit getting to see Michigan in a game day atmosphere?
I mean, the game day atmosphere, just being there, it was just electric. Like when I walked on to the field and stuff, and the crowd, there was 100,000, hundreds of thousands of people there. And it's just like, I've never experienced anything like it. Just being able to witness the adjustments and coaching made by the staff and with the players mid-game to be able to adjust and just start dominating the offense was just like, it was great to watch.
Especially from a linebacker standpoint, you would probably, I know receivers that are there on the recruiting visits, like, man, I wish they kind of air it out. And you're like, no, this is football. When you think of Big Ten football, that's traditional football. That's smash mouth football. And then let's stay at Michigan because at a camp, you didn't just show up to the camp, showed out, and won linebacker MVP there. What was that experience like for you?
So going there, I went up there with my father and my grandpa, and they grew up Michigan fans, whatnot. Especially my grandpa had a lot of stories about him and whatnot. So I went up there just thankful. I was going to go and do what I do, represent my family and whatnot. And I told myself the days before, like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to earn this offer. So I go there and we were doing the warm-ups and stuff. We started out, the first competition we started with was the fast man. And you just race against everyone. And then you'll come around, fastest guys will go and just keep going. I won that. I ended up winning that. And I was like, boom, that's one thing I need to get through. And we started going through the combine and stuff. Combine went smooth, how it should have been. And then we went into drills, whatnot. Drills went good. And then we went into one-on-ones. And that's where I sealed it.
And then, so like you said, not just wanting to go up there and show out, but wanting to put your name on the radar. And now Michigan will not let you go a week without either saying good luck or making sure that, you know, that you're understanding that you're a priority for them, that your name is on the tip of their tongue. What is that like, knowing that the last year, no longer reigning national champions, but last year's national champions, and a coach like Coach Harbaugh, who's seen and gonna forget more things about football than we'll ever know. What is it
Mhm.
like knowing that school has that much interest in you?
I mean, it's just a great feeling, honestly. Yeah, it's really an honor. Um, and at the end of the day, though, I do gotta be humble a bit. Do gotta remain humble and just keep doing what I do. Gotta keep pushing forward, getting better with myself every day, so that way, when my time comes to choose what school I want to go to, I have my options.
And then let's stay in the Big Ten because you got an offer from a school, Indiana, that did some fantastic things this year.
Mhm.
I mean, that program is on a amazing trajectory. And that's another program that when you think about them, you think about a hard-nosed program. We think about a smash mouth program. What was it
Right.
like not just getting the Indiana offer, but then getting to see that program ascend and reach its height this past season?
Yeah, to be honest, getting that offer from them felt great, but also seeing what they were able to do that the season of was just like, wow, they really pulled themselves together. I mean, they 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 just played great like throughout the season, offensively, defensively, everything. It was just great to see, honestly.
And that's got to be cool because they're telling you beforehand, like, hey, Philip, like, we're building something special. Like, we've got something. So it's got to be cool turning on the TV every Saturday and
Yeah,
going, oh, wait, they weren't joking. Like, they put this thing together.
yeah,
And
oh
now
yeah,
not in the college football playoffs. So that has to be so cool to see. So before we get to the film, I know the comments are going to be, I got to see him hit somebody. Got to see him hit somebody. These game day visits are so cool. So there's one more I have to mention, and we'll get into some more schools as we watch the film. But you got to see Wake Forest live in person too, and that's another school you have an offer from. What was that like getting to see that team in person? Obviously, a school that has been interested in you, getting to see that atmosphere with the family. What was that like?
For me and my family, that was a great experience. My family really enjoyed it as well. The hospitality of the coaches and staff was really great. Really appreciate it, and the atmosphere going out was definitely something I'm not used to. They had because they have a tradition there with a motorcycle, a demon deacon on the motorcycle, and I thought that
Yeah,
was
it's
really
different.
cool when he came out on the motorcycle, revving it and stuff, and the music. It was just awesome, honestly.
I feel like that's why I enjoy the idea of you guys getting to see these atmospheres in person for games because college football has so much to offer and everywhere has their different flavor of tradition. So I love that
Mhm.
you guys get to experience the different flavors of tradition. Now, for people in the comments that are probably going, okay, I want to see him hit somebody now. Before we get to see him hit somebody, your versatility at linebacker is absolutely incredible. This is going to start. Now, this is his playoff film, by the way. This is going to start with that versatility, but with that ability to get back in coverage, snap your head around, and have the ball skills. How much of this did you work on early in your career as a linebacker? Like I said in the intro, a full three down guy. How much pride do you take in being a full three down linebacker?
I mean, it all starts with my preparation to it. I mean, I've taken like just before even converting to full linebacker, I was moving around in positions. Off season training, I trained safety work, DB, really everything, to be able to build my all my abilities, my speed and coverage, getting off of blocks, everything like that. So my preparation to this and all my coverage work that I did prior to this definitely played a role.
How much does film study play a role in your ability to play on instinct? Because when we watch a lot of your films, you're going to see it looks like you're not thinking much when you're out there. How much of that is film study over the years?
Really, all of it. Cause the mindset going into a game is what will they do, and because you'll see in film, each team has a tendency to do something. So when I watch film, I'm trying to note down every tendency that they have, so that way my preparation for it is better. Like, oh, I see this guy go in motion. These are the plays that they run out of this motion. So that's what the mindset pre-snap is really all film prep.
How excited do you get when you get to do this though? When you get to come off the edge and just show that raw speed and that tenaciousness. How excited do you get? You just get to hunt.
Yeah, this one I got. I was a little over myself. I thought he was gonna keep running outside, and like try to stop. So like, oh, let me keep going. He ended up getting the ball out. I could have gotten better, honestly.
So what I hear when I hear a player say something like that, that tells me you've always been your hardest critic. Where does that come from? That ability to see a fantastic play like this, but still step out and go, okay, but what could I have done better? How could I have gotten there quicker? How could I have gotten off the ball faster? That's a very mature way of watching film and analyzing yourself. Where does that come from?
I believe that comes from my father. My father, he's a military man. He was a Marine. He served. And he's taught me all about accountability, humbleness, and traits of a man, really. So all my um, accountability to myself when I'm making plays or even a mistake is how can I do this better than I did it before? Because what he taught me is everything's a progression. There's always you can do something good. There's always a way to do it better. So when I'm watching myself do something good, maybe technique wasn't all the way there. Maybe technique could be better. But even end of the day, you make the play, but there's always room to improve.
I love that because that obviously means every day Phillip wakes up, he's gonna try to be 1% better than yesterday. Every rep, you're gonna try to be 1% better than that. That self accountability goes a long way because it's not gratitude from the outside. You're looking at yourself and you're able. That's a very mature thing to do, by the way. To be able to look at your own film and not go, "Oh, great tackle, turn it off." All right, cool. I had 11 tackles, I had 4 sacks. I was him this week. It's very easy to just do that and turn it off, but it does take a special mentality to look at that and say, okay, but how could I have 12? How could I have maybe stopped this cutback? How could I have maybe I love that. And the reason I keep rewinding some of these is I have a question for you because when you've got this kind of versatility, I like to put you guys in a bit of a bind. So I'm gonna ask you, game on the line, what's more enjoyable for you? Stuffing a running back in the hole on 4th and 1 or game-winning interception on a tight end up the seam? If I could give you a preference, which one would you rather have?
I say stopping them 4th and 1, stuffing the running back in the hole. I say that.
I got is it why is that? Is it just because being a linebacker that's 1.A1 in your mind is I'm not letting a running back get anything?
I say that because when you're one on one with a running back in the hole, it's you versus him, and it's 4th and 1. It's the circumstances 4th and 1. You got to go in there thinking he gets 1 yard. They keep going. They could win the game, but I'm not gonna let him get this 1 yard. It's me versus him right now. Seam opens. That's me. That's me all day.
Yeah, that's just man on man. It's just who wants it more at that point. It's just 1 yard. It's their best on your best. As a former running back, did that make the transition of linebacker to playing linebacker full time? Did it make it a little bit easier for you understanding how a running back thinks back there?
I believe it does because for me I believe linebacker is basically running back of the defense because you still
Love
have
that.
your gaps, your reads, and when you're flowing to the ball, you're flowing just like the running back. You hit the open gap because that's where the running back will be. Um, so I believe it's really the same thing.
That's
There's
really smart.
yeah, there's a few different parts. Of course, you're going to go make the tackle and whatnot. Well, it's really like because all the holes and stuff. You're flowing to the ball. Running back is flowing to the hole. You flow to the hole. Meet him in the hole. That's how it'll be.
Another thing that's interesting about this defense, not just that you guys are it, fantastically disciplined, you all fly to the football, and I know that's a coach screaming in your ear,
Yeah.
but it was really young this year in the secondary. How,
Mhm.
how was that on the field, being a junior, being a guy that had some more football under his belt, dealing and helping out some of the younger guys in the secondary? You felt like some of those younger guys kind of benefited from having you to lean on, from having some of the other juniors and seniors to lean on, because it's pretty rare in South Florida playing the kind of schools you guys play to have, class of 27 starters out there, but you guys did, and you were able to gel, and the defense looked fantastic. How
Yeah.
much pride did you take in being a junior and a leader in that locker room, helping get guys like Gamble up to date, getting guys like Jaden Carey up to date, to where they look just like seasoned vets, just like you did this year?
So with all the younger guys, not just Gamble and Carey and them, but just all of them in general, I try to play a role as in helping them and bringing them up in every situation I can, while also keeping them accountable and humble. Like, oh, they make a play, you acknowledge that great play. They make a mistake, they might get in their head because of their young mind. Like, oh, hey, you got this. Slap them on the helmet. Just wipe that off. Next one's coming up right now. Go make up for it. That's really all I try to do for them.
So then you're also in a special predicament as well, because your little brother plays on the team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, you're going to be harder on him than you are on everybody else. But I want to ask you a question about him from a different angle. He's getting to see you handle recruiting. He's getting to see you manage school, being a dual sport athlete, where it's wrestling before, it's track now. He's getting to see you, how you talk to coaches, how you schedule your visits, how you handle yourself at camps, how you handle yourselves on interviews. How important do you think that is for his growth as well, getting to see you not just do it, but do it the right way?
Yeah, I believe it's a crucial role, because he learns from me a lot, especially from me being the older brother. Having these experiences to see and learn from me will have him improve a lot and be better than me at certain things. But yeah, that really, he benefits a lot from it, especially from he lives with me, so having that me constantly in his ear will definitely improve him as well, even if we get into a few things sometimes. But it is what it is.
But I know he has a leg up, because I would imagine for you, you had to learn this firsthand. The first time you got the offer, like you said, you got it, and you were like, "Oh, cool. Oh no, wait, I do need to post. Like, I need to post this. I need to tag the coach." But he's getting to see you do it, like I said, and do it the right way. So even when you're gone, his senior year, no one will have to tell him to work extra hard or do another rep, or he'll go, well, my brother went D1, so this is the standard. I have to keep the standard. I have to either keep the standard or up the standard. So him seeing someone do it the right way, it's that quality that all of you guys have in that locker room, where you handle yourselves with class and with grace. That's why the dynasty is what it is, because it passes down. Because in a couple years, there's going to be a linebacker. He may even be wearing 48. If he lollygags on a route, or if he lollygags on a run, they're going to stop and go, hold on now, because Phillip never did that. So we're not going to allow you to do that. So I love that your brother's getting that twice. He's getting it in the locker room at St. Thomas, and he's getting it at home. Now, when we talk about that team, and it doesn't matter who I watch on film, it seems like you guys have the best fundamentals of any football team I have ever watched. Can you speak to why that is? Why is it that you can plug a St. Thomas freshman, true freshman, in OJ Frederick, and he can be Miami's best defensive back? What you can turn on the punter's film, and everything he does is crisp. It just seems like you guys are very well coached. But from someone not in the building, can you explain that excellence and why it is what it is?
I mean, each group, position group specifically will have a leader in that group, and they'll get together and work their specific stuff outside of school, before practice, after practice, before school, any of that stuff. So a lot of our guys like OJ, it also played a crucial role in practice as well, because in practice we'd go hard every day. So they were able to, they got a lot of reps. So everyone would be getting a lot of reps every day in practice, drilling, constant drilling. and learning from mistakes. And there's film, a lot of film every day. So that also.
I would imagine some of those battles in practice, because of your ability and coverage, you guys had a really good tight end this past year who's going to Tulane. What were
Mhm.
some of those battles like in practice? Because I would imagine that's why when someone goes up to seam on you, you're like, no, I'm not letting this happen. Because I had to deal with this guy from Monday through Thursday. Those one-on-one battles that we don't get to see. How epic are those in practice?
I mean, those are great. Honestly, they just work with the guys. Like each one of them, especially with Cam going to Tulane. He was a guy that played a crucial role on our team. Big, lengthy kid. He could also move pretty well. Gets open in space. Can make hard catches, and also fight for extra yards. He was a guy going against him every day. You're bound to get better, honestly, in coverage and in every way possible.
So when I talked about your versatility earlier, it's not just on the field. So when I say multi-sport athlete, I mean it. So we're gonna touch on a couple different sports here, but first I want to talk about an interesting one. Is wrestling.
Mm.
I have actually seen you suplex a man. Like I've actually seen the footage of you suplex someone in real time. My jaw hit the floor, Philip. How much did wrestling help you when it came to football and playing linebacker? Obviously, I don't think anyone can get under your pads. I don't. If it's possible, I want to see it. I don't think it's possible. Other than leverage, what else did you take from the mat that helps you on the gridiron?
From the mat, definitely the leverage point, being able to drop under a guy is definitely a crucial one. The conditioning and mobility that I got from it as well, in my ankles and hips, everything. Also, that hand fighting played a lot.
Ah,
Linemen and stuff, being able to fight their hands, defeat their hands, and whatnot. That also, I got that a lot from wrestling.
what do you think is the biggest misconception of high school wrestlers there is?
What do you mean?
Like, so I feel like it's not as big of a sport down here in Texas as it is in other places, but I do feel like there are things that you can gain from it. Like when you first started wrestling, what was your biggest surprise about it? What was the thing that you took from it that going in that you didn't expect to learn or you didn't expect to know or respect about the sport?
So my first time going into wrestling, I was a freshman, and I got into it. I was reading up on some people, also my parents. They were like, wrestling helps with football a lot. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try wrestling. Conditioning was kind of hell. I won't lie. I won't lie, but
Really?
yeah, being in wrestling shape is definitely different than other sports. But going through it and throughout the year, and my big thing was slamming people. My freshman year, especially, is just picking them up,
What is
boom.
that feeling like? Because 1% of, like, 99% of us will never know what that feeling is like. What is that feeling actually like?
To slam someone.
Yes.
Mm, I say it's like I say it's satisfying. Honestly, um,
Is it the same as running someone over from from a physical satisfaction standpoint?
about yeah. I'd say slamming is more satisfying than running someone over because you're physically going and grabbing their legs and lifting them in the air.
Lifting
Otherwise,
them. Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty serious.
So I like that.
And then so now we're running track. And
Mm.
listen, I don't think anyone quite understands. A 10-9 linebacker, Philip, is pretty serious. How much do you feel like track is going to help you on the field? We already see the speed, and we already see we know you speed train like a safety. So you already had the sideline to sideline speed, but obviously trying to work on your explosiveness and extend that speed to be able to run a 10-9 is fantastic. But how much do you feel like that is going to help you on the field this upcoming season as a linebacker?
I feel like it'll help me a lot, especially because my senior year, the plan is I'll be playing both sides of the ball, running back and linebacker. So having that having that speed that I mean breakaway speed that I have, but also having it times whatever that'll be. Um, I say that that'll help me a lot, especially with the conditioning part with my muscles and stuff, to be able to hit that speed over and over again will definitely help a lot with the snaps that I'll get. Um, and I just like being fast, honestly. It's just like feels easier to just move around the field by being fast.
How excited are you to get back in the backfield? Not just be back there, but be back there more so on a full-time basis next year. I know you're excited to have the ball in your hands. How amped up are you for this next season to get to run the football a lot more?
I'm pretty excited because it's just a different feeling when I have the ball in my hand. It's just like a natural instinct to be able to see the hole and go get upfield. That's exciting for me.
Being able to punish running backs and then punish linebackers, it's not really a fair thing. It's not how the balance of football is supposed to work. But I love that first and foremost, we know you're going to be conditioned for it, but it's home for you as well. Like you are a natural running the football, so it is home for you as well. So I know you're going to be excited about it. You're a
Yeah.
goal driven person, so I have to
Mhm.
ask, what are some of your goals for next year?
Honestly, the big one for me is finish. Honestly, it's my last season. Um, my team, we're going for a seventh straight state title in a row. Um, my goal as a team as well is to win a national championship. That's what I want
Yes,
for
let's
us.
go.
Yeah.
That I know the first goal is always state, especially with the program that you're with as well. Now I know you said 10-9 on the track. Is there any other personal goals? Do you have one for defense or for offense, or is it more so if when I win the national title, whatever else happened?
I have my personal goals, of course, the 10-9 with my speed and stuff. My strength portion is going up every day. I was squatting 555 a day. Um, so I have
What?
my
Don't just say that like it. Let's go back to
um,
that. What?
yeah, yeah, we were it was my lower squat day. I lift with my dad and my brother. It was eccentric
What is your
squats.
current squat max? Do you know what it is?
No, no, I don't.
It's got to be somewhere in the sixes. That's insane. Did that strength? Do you feel like your strength came from wrestling, or were you naturally strong? Because your brother is a nice sized human being as well. So were you naturally strong, or do you feel like that strength was built up over the years?
I feel like I was a naturally strong person, but getting into the weight room and stuff definitely just like multiplied that by a lot.
Dude, we're squatting 500 on a low squat day. That's my back hurt hearing you say that. I started stretching. But before we get you out of here, there's some schools I still have to talk about. One of them, because I can't not talk about this one because the colors are just way too similar to the ones you currently have on, is Pitt.
Hmm.
Getting that offer from Pitt, getting that offer from an ACC team. There's another ACC team I want to talk about, but I can't not talk about Pitt, another team that is known for running the football, that is known for good defense. What was it like getting that offer from Pitt?
I mean, getting the offer from Pitt, honestly, getting the offers from all the schools, mainly Pitt. Uh, it was a great feeling to be able to get that offer from them, but also seeing how good of the season that they had following. I feel like it's just great to see teams start dominating more, especially after receiving the offer from them and knowing that I have an offer from the school. So it's a great feeling.
And then when they're on the upward trajectory, as they're on that upward trajectory, if they're like, oh, he can help us continue being on this upward trajectory, that has to be a good feeling. Now,
Mhm.
I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about one of the hometown schools that you have gotten to see in person. Last October, you got to see the Miami Hurricanes in person. What was that visit like, getting to see that team in person? And what's that relationship like with you and the staff down there in Coral Gables?
Me and the staff down there, we have a solid relationship. I talked to one of the recruiters. We went down. The hospitality was well. Uh, Went there, had some. The food was good too. Honestly, the food was really good. Um, the game day atmosphere, watching them play was good. It was honestly the offense that their offense is top tier. Um, their defense too. Their guys are defense. They got some solid guys on defense, including OJ. I watching him or playing with him and watching what he's doing now is I feel great for him. And Jordan Lau too.
And Jordan Lau as well. So I have to ask. So that came out of left field for some Canes fans when OJ broke season one starting, and then we see Jordan Lau ripping off 90-yard runs. For
Right.
you, what was that like? Because you saw that every day. Were you as surprised? You weren't as surprised as we were, I'm guessing, right? I would imagine you guys were like, "Oh yeah, duh," when you saw that.
Yeah, no, because me and Jordan would get into it almost really every practice. So me and him would we're going against each other every day. I know him. He's a hard worker. He's always finishes every run, and I know he has that drive in himself. So seeing what he's doing now at college is not surprising to me. Same thing with OJ too. He always had that mentality going into practice that I'm better than you. So it's really not surprising to me. I'm just proud of him.
It seems like you guys, when you guys graduate from St. Thomas, y'all are immediately ready not just to be assets on the football field, but in the classroom as well. Speak
Mhm.
to the attention that you take, and that you take pride in your grades as well. When you see some of these offers, some of these are schools with a fantastic academic track record as well. So you're not getting those offers without being elite in the classroom as
Mhm.
well. Speak to the hard work it goes into both. We get to see the speed training, the weightlifting, we see the interceptions, but you have to have it together in the classroom as well. And I know someone like you takes pride in that.
Mhm. Yeah. So being in the classroom, I feel like the teachers and staff that we have at our school, St. Thomas, are top notch. They'll provide the tutoring needed if you're struggling. There's really no possible way you could fail unless you're not wanting it. If you want it, you're gonna succeed no matter what. The whole entire staff, from teachers to deans, everyone just wants to help you, honestly. So you can't really fail unless you do it yourself.
There's that want to. If you have the want to, we will make sure you do. I love that, because
Yeah.
it does come from within too. You do have to have the want to. It's not given, but it's if you're willing to work for it, we will make sure that you're excellent and you're elite at that. I see now.
Yeah.
I see now why you guys build not just monsters, but elite young men. It doesn't matter whether it's Tulane, Miami, Florida State, Florida, Indiana. It doesn't matter where you guys go. You make an instant impact, not just on the field, but in the locker room as well. And that's because you guys build that culture at St. Thomas. So before I let you go, I have to ask my favorite question, Philip. You are one of the hardest working recruits I know. And I know this because I see the regiment. What is it like on the rough days? What is it like when your body is sore and tired? You had to stay up late working on a test that you knew was going to be tough, so you want to get a couple extra hours in, but now your body's aching and it's sore and it's rough to get out of bed. What's that why that keeps you moving on those days when your body tells you it can't?
I mean, there's a lot of why reasons. There's one being my family. My family is all everything that they've poured into me doing this, and next it'll be my team. Like you're gonna feel like this going into a game sometime, or if in that fourth quarter, that you gotta figure out what you need to figure out to be able to pull through.
See that The reason I love asking that question is because you get a little insight to the person himself. Did y'all notice none of that in there had anything to do with him? Neither one of those reasons he said first my family and second my team. He never said because I want to be a millionaire one day. I want to go to the NFL. That tells me the kind of person and the kind of player you are. That's why Michigan knocks down the door. That's why Pittsburgh, Miami, Indiana. That's why. It's because when you have an individual like this, like I said, he enhances your locker room as well. That linebacker room gets better when you step into it as a freshman. Every classroom you step into, every meeting you step into, and then on the field, you're an absolute dog. So that takes care of itself too. But you can't build a championship or championship culture without championship individuals. I say it all the time. So, and that's why the offer sheet is what it is. That's why the schools are knocking down your door, because you are team first. It's easy to say team first, but when somebody asks you a legit individual question, your first answer was your two teams, your family, your first team you'll ever play on, and St. Thomas Aquinas. Nowhere in there did you mention yourself. I even asked him his individual goals next year, and he started out with national championship and state championship, which I don't know if y'all are following, but those are not individual. But those were his first two things without being prompted. And then his why was his two teams he plays on. That is why the coaches are knocking down the door. That's why the offer sheet is what it is. It's because an individual like you enhances whatever program they're a part of. Listen, I cannot wait to see y'all's team next year because you're playing running back next year, and I've seen you run the ball in clips, but I'm very excited to see it full time next year. And that was a fantastic rushing offense this year. I mean, Steven Spelling in the backfield and what Chance was able to do in the backfield was fantastic. So I cannot wait to see these games next year. Let everyone know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter so that they can keep up with you this next season while we watch you running over linebackers and destroying running backs.
Yes, sir. You follow me on Instagram at pgoodrich_2.
And so I'm going to link that down there in the description. I'll have his Twitter too and his huddle. The reason I'll link his huddle down there for you guys is because they'll break them down game by game. So next season, you guys are going to see, oh, Phillip played them this week. I want to see how he did. And a lot of times they'll break it down offense and defense as well. And then you'll see his playoff highlights and his regular season highlights. So I'm going to link that down because I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments from a bunch of different fans from different schools wanting to see that. So all you're going to have to do is click. It'll take you straight to his Instagram, straight to his Twitter, and to his huddle. Bro, thank you so much for coming on. I wish you nothing but good health and success next year, not just for you, but for your little bro as well and for the squad. You're going to be a leader in that locker room next year, so it's going to be really cool to see. Now, someone's going to be waiting for your gloves, your visor, your back flap next year. It's that time now. Has that started already for you? And when you go out there, the youngins asking for your gloves and stuff now?
Yes, sir. A little bit, yeah.
How is that? Because only a couple years ago, that was you. How is that being that guy that now a young linebacker is looking at you going, man, I want to wear 48 when he leaves? How is that?
I mean, I just think with all the kids that come up to me asking about me and all that stuff, I just try to be like big brother to them. Because including my brother Chase, I have two younger ones as well. And I try to be the best brother I can for all three of them. So when some kids come up to me asking for stuff, all that, I try to be as nice and as a kind of a person as I can while also giving them advice. So that's really it.
What would be, before we get out of here, if I'm a young linebacker, if I'm an eighth grader and I'm going to St. Thomas in the next year, what would be your advice to a young linebacker if he's thinking, man, I want to be like Phillip one day. I want to have the offers and I want to be able to, be invited to camps. What would your advice be to a young linebacker just starting out his journey?
I'd say it's what you do in the dark that'll come out in the light.
Oh, I love that. Oh my! Hey, look, if this football thing does not work out, you're going to make a fantastic coach. I don't think it matters what you do because of the way you handle yourself. I think you're going to be great at whatever it is. If you decide tomorrow, like you want to open a bottling plant, I think you'll be elite at bottling water just because the way you handle yourself. I think you're just going to be good at whatever you want to do. But the way you approach the game, when college is over and when the league is over, I think you're gonna make a fantastic coach one day, Phillip. I really do.
Thank you.
You heard it here first. So after you done hoisted a Lombardi and a national championship and everything, and you're a coach, just remember, man, CB did say all them years ago that I would be coaching. I think that's in your future. Thank you so much for coming on. Next year, after you run it back and you guys win that national championship, we're gonna have you on so we can watch those highlights and we can sit back and enjoy the full career at St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you very much. I know your schedule is busy, so thank you for giving me your time. You guys like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Phillip right now. Next year, when they do play, a lot of those games are streamed and or televised. I will try to make sure I tweet those out as much as possible so that we can show out, and show you some love in the comments while we're watching you guys go bid for that next state championship. Thank you, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Phillip right now. We out.